Malcolm, you've been telling us that this was coming for years. It's happening pretty much exactly the way you said it would. And now the CIA is saying Vladimir Putin is hands-on. He is probably, they have the word probably there, probably hands-on in this effort.
I think that that was a very careful assessment in order not to infuriate Donald Trump, his number one patron. So, you know, Vladimir Putin determined that he was going to attack the United States in 2014. That is the first time we received positive indications that the Russian Internet Research Agency was stood up in September of 2014 and started hiring English linguists and carry out influence operations against the NRA, American evangelicals, and co-opted Donald Trump at the Miss Universe pageant. So for them to finally come out and say, hey, we believe Vladimir Putin directed the activities related to 2020, that's pretty easy call, because you do not attack the entire American electoral process without the leader of your country ordering you to do it.
Let's listen to what Senator Kamala Harris said about this tonight.
I serve on the Senate Intelligence Committee, and I will tell you, please believe everything that has been published. Russia interfered in the election of the President of the United States in 2016, and they will do it again. In 2016, they targeted black voters. It's part of the report. And you know why? Because they knew that they could try and tap into a righteous distrust of the system.
Malcolm, your reaction to that?
You know, Russia is not the country that you think sprung up out of the ground in 1989, the Russian Federation. Prior to that, they had an intelligence agency called the KGB, which for 70 years used all of its deep academic studies and analysis of the United States to determine how they would move forward in propaganda and political warfare. The Russian Federation just adopted all of that information through its spy master in chief, Vladimir Putin, an ex-KGB officer. Now, what that means is they know us. They know us deeply. They understand the fault lines of America with great detail. And so we dither and argue and try to compromise over how we're going to carry out intelligence activities. They direct and attack directly. So Kamala Harris is right. They understand the incendiary nature of racism in America, and they attack that fault line. But now that they have their own guy in the White House to a certain extent, certainly rhetorically, they don't have to do anything. The president actually does all the legwork for him.
Let's listen to what the FBI Director Christopher Wray said about this on September 17th.
We certainly have seen very active efforts by the Russians to influence our election in 2020 through what I would call more the malign foreign influence side of things. Social media, use of proxies, state media, online journals, et cetera, an effort to both sow divisiveness and discord. And I think the intelligence community has assessed this publicly primarily to denigrate Vice President Biden.
And the next day, Donald Trump said, I didn't like his answers yesterday, and I'm not sure he liked them either. I'm sure that he probably would agree with me, which is the most psycho possible response. He doesn't just say that the FBI, I disagree with the FBI director. He then says that the FBI director doesn't really mean what he says, and he secretly really agrees with me.
You know, I find it fascinating because Vladimir Putin was a human intelligence officer. His job when he lived in Dresden, I've been to his office in Dresden, very interesting, was to turn people who came into East Germany into spies through manipulating their human foibles and their personal or financial challenges. Vladimir Putin must find Donald Trump an absolutely easy mark to manipulate, because Trump will lie in the same sentence, the same breath, that he will attempt to manipulate the words of another person with a stature like the FBI director. So what that does is that sets your own country up, the United States, for absolute failure. Anything that is injected through foreign malign influence into the information sphere, that's the internet, will always be amplified by Donald Trump and will benefit the Russian Federation.